Archangel Michael revealed the real reason you keep feeling drained, and it's not coming from you. The clock had just struck 3:33 a.m. The air grew still. The atmosphere around you subtly, but unmistakably shifted. And at that very moment, a moment not chosen by chance, but chosen by divine precision, Archangel Michael descended with a message that could not wait. A message heavy with urgency, cloaked in divine fire, and meant for a soul that would recognize the voice behind it. That soul is you. Something has been draining your energy, pulling you down, making you question your strength, your joy, your spiritual clarity. But hear this now. It is not coming from you. You are not weak. You are not broken. What you're experiencing is not random exhaustion. It is not coincidence. It is not just life being hard. It is spiritual. It is strategic. And it has targeted you because of what you carry. Archangel Michael does not speak in vain. When heaven dispatches him, it means the matter is urgent. You, listener, you are the spiritually sensitive. You are the light bearer. You are the intercessor, the atmosphere shifter, the peace bringer. But you have also become a beacon, not just for light, but also for those who feed off of it. You've noticed it, haven't you? The strainy tiredness that comes after certain people speak to you. The emotional crashes after seemingly normal interactions. The growing heaviness with no visible source. This message is being sent because your discernment is awakening, and now, you must know why. This is not a moment to brush aside. This is not a message to hear casually. This is spiritual instruction. Holy alert. Archangel Michael comes not to frighten you, but to align you, shield you, and wake you up. For far too long, the enemy has cloaked this attack under the label of burnout and overwhelm. But Michael is lifting the veil. You have not been imagining this. Something has been draining your spirit, and it is not your fault. This is a divine summons for the chosen, not the curious. For the ones who have always felt a little different, a little more intuitive, a little more weighed down without explanation. This message will pierce through what others miss, but not everyone will receive it. You will. Now be still. Clear the noise. Open your spirit. For what comes next must be heard in full presence and full surrender. Archangel Michael is speaking, and the heavens are watching. Type "I receive this" in the comments if your spirit is open. Blessing code 333 has now been activated over your atmosphere. Your energy is leaking. The voice was not one of thunder, but one of undeniable authority, clear, burning, weighty like a sword that knows its target. Archangel Michael speaks now, and he does not whisper. He declares. He commands. He pierces through the illusions you've been living under, and he places this truth like a mirror before your spirit. Your energy is leaking, and you must act before the next 48 hours pass. For too long, you have carried a fatigue that doesn't match your effort. You've tried to rest, but rest didn't restore you. You've tried to retreat, but the silence didn't strengthen you. Why? Because this is not natural exhaustion. This is a spiritual breach, and it has gone unrecognized until now. Michael speaks urgently because the clock in the spirit realm is ticking. The longer this strain continues unnoticed, the more it embeds. And he has seen it, the way you've tried to explain it away. The way you've pushed through, smiled when you felt nothing, gave when you had nothing left. You have been bleeding energy. Not because you are broken, but because you are chosen. And chosen ones are often drained before they are deployed. Listen now. Something unseen has been pulling on your soul force. Not occasionally, not passively, strategically. You've been marked, not by heaven for judgment, but by lower forces for sabotage. They know your potential. They know your gift. They know your sensitivity. And so they leak slowly, subtly, consistently. What you feel is not a dip in motivation. It's not depression. It's not weakness. It's warfare. It is a slow, ongoing, spiritual siphoning of your divine essence. This is not a message for the casual seeker. This is not a word for the spiritually asleep. This message is a coded dispatch, sent directly to those whose calling has begun to stir in them. If this is resonating in your spirit, that is your confirmation. You are under observation, not just by the forces of darkness, but by the watchers of heaven. You have drawn the attention of the divine and the deceptive alike. But hear this, you are not alone. Archangel Michael has surrounded your space with divine agents. Right now, a circle of fire is forming in the unseen realm, encircling your body, your home, your spirit. They have come to restore what was drained. But their work begins only when you accept the truth. The drain is real, it is spiritual, and it was never your fault. There is something pulling from you that does not belong to you. There are conversations, connections, habits, and environments that have been feeding on your light. Not because you're careless, but because you're illuminated. The light in you has drawn eyes, drawn envy, drawn spiritual leeches that know how to smile, flatter, and pretend all while feeding from your field. But Michael says now, enough. You must reclaim what is yours. You must declare your atmosphere closed to all energy not sent by God. You must awaken to the truth that this fatigue is not just happening to you. It is being done to you. And until you name it, you cannot cast it out. You feel weak, but you are not. What you feel is the weight of a war you didn't even know you were fighting. What you're sensing is a spiritual trespassing that has been unchallenged until now. Let this moment be your awakening. Let this message be your turning point. Do not wait. Do not delay. The next 48 hours are sacred. Heaven has opened a window. If you act within it, if you cleanse, cut cords, step back from draining connections, pray with fire, something will break. The leak will stop. The light will return. And remember, this message is not one of fear, but of fortification. You are not being punished. You are being promoted. And promotions in the spirit require confrontations in the soul. Michael has drawn his sword, not against you, but for you. The battle is being fought even now. But you must respond. You must recognize that you are under divine surveillance, and every action you take now will either restore your flow or prolong the drain. You are called. You are covered. You are chosen. Now rise and listen for what's coming next. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. You've noticed it, haven't you? Those moments when silence turns sour. When rooms feel heavy the moment you enter. When laughter from others lands cold on your skin. Too loud, too sharp, too hollow. The way their eyes linger a little too long. The way conversations twist into questions that feel like traps. You've tried to ignore it, tried to explain it away. But Archangel Michael is revealing now. This is not social awkwardness. This is spiritual detection. You are sensing what they dare not say. You are feeling what lies behind the masks. It's in the whispers when you leave. In the strange energy when they smile, then suddenly shift. Something is not right. Not because of paranoia, but because your spirit is awake. You are not imagining the weight in the air. You are not imagining the way certain people leave you feeling exhausted, as if something was pulled from you the moment they hugged you or stood too close. That tightness in your chest, that spinning in your head, that sudden emotional collapse after an ordinary encounter is real. Michael speaks clearly. Their energy is not just brushing up against yours, it's pulling from it. There are souls around you who smile, but their spirit carries envy. They affirm you, but they do not celebrate you. They say, "I'm happy for you," while their heart twists in comparison. These are the unseen chords, emotional hooks, spiritually veiled connections designed to tap your field without ever needing your permission. And because you are spiritually sensitive, you feel it first. They take your words but leave you confused. They enjoy your presence but offer no return. They bring problems to your doorstep but never offer peace in exchange. These are not just draining people, they are spiritual thieves in disguise. Energy vampires cloaked in politeness. Smile-wearing saboteurs. They don't need to hate you to drain you. They only need to be unhealed and hungry, and you only need to be open and unaware. Something walks into your room before you. You've noticed it, the way certain spaces shift before you speak. It's because your energy, your spiritual scent, goes ahead of you. And when it does, it alerts both heaven and hidden enemies. That sense of being watched, that's not just a thought, that's a recognition in the spirit realm. You are known there. You felt unsettled even in places that should feel peaceful. Why? Because when you carry divine energy, even sanctified spaces get tested. Not everyone in the church is sent by God. Not every spiritual group carries light. Not every conversation labeled healing is truly holy. Michael says, you are sensing what is spiritually hidden, not mentally imagined. The reason you felt so off lately, detached, down, disrupted, is not because something inside of you is breaking. It's because something outside of you has latched on. This drain have been subtle but consistent. An extraction cloaked in friendliness. A heaviness masked as harmlessness. But now, the light in you is pushing back, and what has been feeding off of you is starting to tremble. Let this be your awareness upgrade. Not everyone is for you. Not everyone can go with you. And not everyone has the spiritual right to remain connected to you. You don't need to hate them, but you do need to recognize what is happening to you. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe to our channel to stay aligned with future spiritual revelations, real-time prophetic updates, and protective guidance just like this. Your journey deserves direction, and that's why we're here. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 is now activated. Hear it clearly now. This is not exhaustion. This is an extraction. What you've been calling tiredness is not physical. It is spiritual theft. A slow and silent robbery that happened in plain sight, while you were too busy surviving to see the cords that were quietly attaching themselves to your light. Archangel Michael reveals that a spiritual cord was unknowingly attached to you. A tether, a siphon, a spiritual line not sanctioned by God, but permitted by your open compassion and unguarded empathy. You gave freely, as the righteous do, but not all who received did so with clean hands. This isn't about bitterness. It's about discernment. You were chosen to carry light, but that light comes with responsibility. And one of those responsibilities is guarding it. You are not being punished. You are being made aware, because you are dangerous to the darkness when you are fully charged. Heaven has not abandoned you. In fact, heaven hath been watching closely. The drain was not hidden from God. The spiritual fatigue was recorded. The tears, the confusion, the silent "what's wrong with me?" all of it was heard. Not one sigh went unnoticed. But God permitted it, not to destroy you, but to train you. Because your spiritual mantle is expanding, and you cannot carry it with open access to everyone. Your fatigue is not weakness. Your disorientation is not defeat. This is warfare. What you're walking through is not a breakdown. It's a divine battleground. The spirits attached to you don't want you to realize this, because once you do, your power begins to dissolve. Michael stands beside you even now, sword drawn, wings extended. He declares, every drained day was a spiritual assignment misunderstood. But heaven is issuing clarity now. You are light carrier, and light attracts everything, the healed and the hungry, the pure and the parasitic. This is why they find you. This is why they text at random. This is why they show up only when they need strength. Because something in you feeds them. But the time for unguarded giving is over. Divine power is forming a wall around your soul now. You are not being cut off from others. You are being sealed from what steals. There is a difference. You can still love. You can still shine. But the divine wall now filters who has access to your radiance. Understand this deeply. Just because they want your presence doesn't mean they are worthy of your spirit. And just because they're near you doesn't mean they are sent by God. Heavenly relationships empower. Ungodly ones extract. And so, the drain ends with awareness. The shift begins with decision. Michael is not just fighting for you. He's waiting for your agreement. Will you partner with heaven? Will you accept the calling to guard your grace? Will you close the doors you've left open in the name of kindness? You're not being cold. You're being consecrated. You're not pushing people away, and you're being pulled into purpose. Because there is no revival without separation, and no spiritual power without spiritual discipline. This is your hour of clarity. The wall is rising. The light is returning. The extraction ends now. Type "I claim this light" in the comments if this message has reached you. Blessing code 1001 is now active in your field. A holy disturbance is stirring in the spirit realm. The air around you, though silent, is charged with unseen motion. Archangel Michael speaks again, but this time with heightened intensity. A shift is coming within the next 72 hours, he says, and it will reveal what you were not meant to carry into your next season. The countdown has begun. What you do next will determine whether you rise above the drain or remain trapped beneath it. Heaven has seen the duplicity circling you. There is one near you, familiar, close, even comforting, but they are not aligned with your calling. This person has been a leak in your spirit, a doorway through which your divine energy has slowly trickled. And in the coming hours, something will happen. A conversation, a text, a tone in their voice, a strange unease. The veil will lift, and you will see who they truly are. Not all who smile are sent by God. Some were sent as assignments to delay, distract, and drain. And their disguise has been effective because your heart is tender. Your loyalty hath been your blindfold. But heaven has had enough. Archangel Michael is issuing a divine alert. You must watch. You must listen. You must pay attention. You will begin to notice it, how certain conversations leave you depleted, how being around them causes your mind to fog, your body to tire, your spirit to grieve without reason. This is not your imagination. This is emotional ambush, and it is their favorite tactic. Confuse your soul, entangle your heart, then pull from your peace. But here is what you must understand. They don't always come with hatred. In fact, some are attached to you through false empathy. They present as victims. They make you feel responsible. But every time you extend help, every time you ignore your inner warning to console them again, something in you withers. This is spiritual sabotage masked as compassion. Michael warns, the thief returns in silence. That means this will not be obvious. It will come in a dramatic revelation. It will come through the whisper of your spirit, the subtle dread before meeting them, the hesitation before replying, the emotional collapse after hearing their voice. These signs are not weakness. They are prophetic signals from your own spirit, trying to protect you. Stand watch. Be vigilant. Not paranoid, but present. For the spiritually drained, inattention is the enemy's greatest advantage. Energy vampires do not thrive on hate. They thrive on access. Cut access, and you cut off their supply. The next 3 days are your window. Use this time to observe, to journal, to reflect. Heaven will show you signs. There will be a slip of the tongue, a strange energy, a resistance when you begin to spiritually separate. That's how you'll know you found the source of the drain. You're not being told this to create division. You're being told this to protect your destiny. Because if you carry this energy thief into your next elevation, the drain will multiply. The confusion will thicken. And the joy you're meant to experience will be diluted by their spiritual interference. Michael's message is clear. The mask is about to fall. The energy is about to shift. Be ready. Be still. And do not second-guess the signs. The same discernment that helped you sense the drain is the discernment that will guide your escape. And when the moment comes, do not explain. Do not negotiate. Do not defend your withdrawal. Just step back. Heaven will handle the rest. Type I am watching in the comments to receive the covering of discernment. Blessing code 5555 is now guarding your atmosphere. You are now standing in sacred ground, the moment where divine instruction meets your willingness to obey. Archangel Michael leans in now, not with urgency, but with strategy. The time for alert has passed. Now comes the time for action. You are not helpless. You are not vulnerable. But you must become intentional. Because protection is not a passive state. It is a practice. Be still. This is not the stillness of inaction. It is the stillness of spiritual strength. When the drainers provoke, do not engage. When they accuse, do not defend. When they bait you into emotional exhaustion, stay silent. Because your silence now is more powerful than your explanations. Michael says, silence disarms spiritual spies more than loud prayers. You must understand the nature of those attached to your light. They are not always conscious of their feeding, but they are always activated when you begin to rise. Your growth threatens their dependency. Your clarity threatens their control. So they will do what they can. Provoke, guilt trip, distract, to pull you back into familiar fatigue. But you must not go. Heaven is watching to see if you will protect what it gave you. Stay in sacred spaces. Do not allow your aura to be contaminated by people, places, or patterns that do not match your future. Cleanse your atmosphere daily. Anoint your thresholds. Speak peace into your environment. Your home is not just a structure, it is a spiritual domain. And if you allow chaos inside, you open the door to spiritual unrest. Recite this aloud now. No energy not sent by God may stay. Say it daily. Say it boldly. Say it until the very air around you trembles. Because words are weapons, and this declaration becomes the firewall between your soul and everything sent to drain it. Close your eyes. Visualize Archangel Michael standing at your back, sword ablaze, wings stretched wide. Then picture a wall of fire, golden, pulsing, holy, rising between you and the source of your spiritual fatigue. That wall is now active. That shield is not symbolic. It is literal in the spirit. Every time you pray with clarity, it strengthens. Every time you say no to what dishonors your peace, it glows brighter. You are protected, but you must be alert. Not fearful. Not paranoid. Aware. There's a difference. Awareness allows you to intercept the attack before it lands. It allows you to exit draining conversations before they consume you. It empowers you to respond from power, not panic. Your calmness is now your most potent shield. In the presence of manipulators, do not react, observe. In the presence of energy vampires, do not shrink. Stand tall in your spirit. Because they cannot feed on what they cannot provoke. They cannot access what is sealed in stillness. Your peace is not weakness. It is warfare. This is your training ground. The protection has begun. But it is your responsibility now to walk in the guidance. Heaven cannot force you to maintain what it gave. It can only equip you. Arrest is choice. And today you choose to be sealed. To be sovereign. To be spiritually guarded. The drain ends here. The power returns now. And you are no longer vulnerable to what once fed on you. Type "I am shielded" in the comments if you receive this divine instruction. Blessing code 1717 is now locking your field with holy fire. You are not the same soul who once collapsed under the weight of invisible battles. You are not the same person who once silenced their spirit to preserve the comfort of others. No, you have endured the drain. You have walked through the storm, and something within you has shifted. This is the awakening of spiritual empowerment. You have entered the moment where your suffering transforms into strategy, where your wounds become weapons, and where your light no longer dims to protect the dark. Archangel Michael speaks now with affirmation, not warning. He says, "You are rising." And though you may not feel powerful yet, the heavens already recognize your shift. The fatigue didn't come because you were weak. It came because your light expanded beyond the structure you used to live in. You outgrew environments. You outgrew alliances. You outgrew the version of you that used to survive. And now you are being ushered into the version of you that commands. That's why the drain intensified. That's why your body felt like it was breaking, why your dreams became heavier, why your peace was under constant assault. Because you were ascending. And everything that could not come with you, every attachment, every entanglement, every unhealed relationship, began to pull harder. You weren't falling apart. You were stretching. And in that stretching, your light began to signal the realm of spirit. This one is rising. You feel it now. That fire in your chest. That tingling in your soul. That's not fear. That's activation. You are being commissioned to walk in greater spiritual voltage. The old dharma won't hold. The old boundaries won't work. The old patterns can no longer protect you. This new season demands a fortified version of you. Heaven is not just sending help. Heaven is unlocking you. Your wings are forming. Not metaphorical ones, spiritual ones. You are no longer crawling in survival. You are standing in spiritual authority. That means you no longer beg for clarity, you command it. You no longer chase peace, you establish it. You no longer allow anything into your energy that does not align with God's signature over your life. What once weakened you will now empower you. The same sensitivity that made you a target now becomes your weapon. You can walk into rooms and discern atmospheres. You can feel the shift before the chaos erupts. You can spot manipulation before it reaches your soul. Because your discernment isn't just sharp, it's now divinely recalibrated. You are a vessel of divine light, and darkness is losing its grip. The spiritual parasites that once fed freely on your aura are now agitated. Not because you're vulnerable, but because you're awakening. And an awakened spirit cannot be deceived the way it once was. Archangel Michael whispers, "Your soul remembers what your mind forgot. You were always powerful. You were always sealed. You were always chosen. But the drain made you forget. The fatigue tried to convince you that you were fragile. But now, you remember. And in that remembering, you are returning to your true posture, that of a warrior, an intercessor, a light bearer with unshakable fire in your bones. Walk with the awareness that you are not who you were. Speak with the clarity that you are no longer accessible to the same drains. Think with the truth that your boundaries are not selfish. They are sacred. This shift is not a change in personality. It is a spiritual promotion. You are not tired. You are transforming. Type "I am rising" in the comments if you receive this revelation. Blessing code 1212 is now pouring strength into your new identity. This trial is not a punishment. This weariness, this battle, this storm, it is not a curse. It is prophecy in motion. And you, beloved soul, are the living fulfillment of what was spoken long before you arrived on this earth. Archangel Michael has returned again, his presence thick with divine certainty, and he brings revelation that shifts the soul. He declares, you are in birthing pains, not burnout. What you have mistaken for weariness is actually spiritual labor. You are not breaking. You are bringing forth. You've been feeling stretched, pulled, drained, and tested because something within you is awakening at full capacity. And it had to happen this way. Because heaven never expands power without first collapsing false protection. That's what the fatigue was. Your old energy frame dying. Your spirit has been flagged in heaven. They saw your obedience when no one else noticed. They saw your sacrifice in secret. They heard the silent cries you buried beneath your smile. And now, the angelic realm has recognized your spirit as ready for unlocking. You are no longer hidden. You are now being summoned. The ones who drained you sensed it before you did. That's why their behavior changed. That's why you felt more tension, more withdrawal, more confusion. Because the moment your frequency began to shift, the ones feeding off your lower vibration felt the detachment. You were ascending without realizing it, and it rattled them. But Michael says, this was necessary. This was divine. This was the sign. This fatigue is not the end. It is your announcement. You are being moved dimensionally. That means the people, spaces, and energies that once felt familiar are now foreign, because they belong to the old realm, not the new one. You are shedding spiritual parasites. The aches, the emotional shifts, the dreams, the unexplainable feelings, all signs that your soul is being recoded. But here's the glorious truth. You are not just surviving this. You are about to flourish because of it. What tried to kill your spirit only confirmed your calling. What tried to deplete your energy only activated your elevation. You were drained because you were being cleared for overflow. Archangel Michael wants you to know. Your name is now spoken in angelic circles. Your movements are being watched with divine approval. Your prayers are echoing louder than you know. And your surrender has triggered something massive in the spirit. There is a realignment taking place now, unseen by the eye, but deeply felt by the soul. You are entering a realm where power flows without permission, where light radiates from you even when you're silent, where authority rests on your words because your heart has been tested. This is not hype. This is prophetic fulfillment. You are walking into the reality that heaven has been preparing for you through every draining season. The next version of you requires this version of you to let go. Let go of guilt for needing boundaries. Let go of shame for resting. Let go of false responsibility for others' healing. Let go of any identity tied to pain. That's not you anymore. The pain was a process, not a label. You are emerging as one whom heaven trusts, one whom darkness fears, one whose presence disrupts old atmospheres. You've passed the test. Now comes the fire, the anointing, the restoration, your flow. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now to receive more prophetic revelations like this, soul awakenings, and divine instruction for your spiritual journey. Your spirit deserves clarity, and we are here to walk with you every step of the way. Type "I am awakened" in the comments if your spirit receives this message. Blessing code 1010 is now releasing your name in divine places. Stand now. Wherever you are, stand not just with your body, but with your soul. This is the moment the drain ends and destiny begins. This is the hour where heaven no longer waits for your agreement, but responds to your command. Archangel Michael's voice thunders through the silence of your spirit, calling you to reclaim what was stolen, to rise from where you were drained, and to awaken what has been dormant far too long. Say it aloud. He instructs. Say it until heaven recognizes your authority. I reclaim my light. These are not just words. They are activation codes. They are spiritual declarations. They are sacred announcements that signal the angelic realms you are ready to walk in what was always yours. For too long, the light inside you was dulled by the opinions of others. For too long, you held back your power to be accepted. For too long, you confused humility with hiding. But no more. No more fainting. No more questioning. No more spiritual hesitation. Heaven does not respond to silence in moments of warfare. Heaven responds to boldness. To those who speak their authority, even while their voice trembles. To those who declare healing while still feeling pain. To those who announce breakthrough while still bleeding from betrayal. And you, yes, you, are being handed that mantle now. Walk in purpose. Speak with clarity. Set boundaries with boldness. Take prophetic action. Because destiny doesn't respond to passivity, it aligns with motion. The angels are not circling your life just to protect you. They are waiting for your initiation. The moment you say yes, the realm of heaven rushes to support that yes. Your alignment begins the instant you choose it. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being called to be intentional. Every drained day was the enemy's attempt to make you doubt your voice. Every energy thief was sent to confuse your identity. Every hidden attack was aimed at keeping you asleep. But now, your voice is waking up. Your posture is shifting. Your frequency is rising. The anointing on your life is no longer dormant. It is demanding expression. Remove what no longer honors your soul's mission. This is not cruelty. This is consecration. You don't need to explain your growth to those who were comfortable with your limitations. You don't need to water down your power to soothe someone else's insecurity. The drain ends when the old identity is cut off, because you cannot carry destiny while dragging dysfunction. You cannot fly while still shackled to the expectations of those who only knew the wounded you. This isn't just a battle. This is a calling. And it requires you to walk like you are already chosen, already sent, already sealed. You don't wait for others to validate your power. You move with the knowing that heaven already approved your design. And that is your freedom. Say it again. I rise. I resist. I reclaim. This is the sound that shatters old altars. This is the vibration that breaks every remaining drain. This is the decree that heaven has been waiting to echo across realms. You are no longer playing small in a realm that demands spiritual giants. The earth is groaning for voices like yours. Voices that pierce through lies. Voices that heal atmospheres. Voices that command peace and break generational curses. And the moment you said yes, the very moment you said I reclaim my light, the chains around your destiny began to fall. This is not emotional hype. This is divine reality. You were drained because of your purpose. You are rising because of your power. And you are now walking into the fulfillment of prophetic timing. Type I reclaim my light in the comments if you feel your spirit reactivating. Blessing code 1919 is now aligning your words with your purpose. Even as you sleep, the spirit realm remains active. Even as you close your eyes, something sacred continues to unfold. For this battle was never fought with fists or noise, it was fought in silence, in surrender, in the realm unseen. Archangel Michael stands at the gates of your destiny now, sword sheathed not in stillness, but in satisfaction. For he speaks now with a new tone, not of warning, not of urgency, but of revelation. While you rested, heaven moved. What you lost energetically, the peace, the confidence, the clarity, is being returned in double. But it is not returning with noise. It is not returning with applause. It is returning through the silent exchange, the spiritual trade that happens between heaven and earth when a soul chooses obedience. You didn't need to shout to be heard. You didn't need to perform to be seen. Heaven heard the silent yes in your heart, and that yes triggered a divine response. While you wept in silence, angels recorded. While you stayed quiet when falsely accused, heaven took note. While you sacrificed energy for others, unaware you were being drained, the Spirit began collecting every unseen transaction. And now, the time of repayment has come. This is not karma. This is not luck. This is divine justice, sealed through silent obedience. You have been trading in the Spirit. Surrender in exchange for strategy, pain in exchange for purpose, loss in exchange for legacy. And now, something has shifted. Something has broken behind the veil. You didn't see it, but your body feels it. The drain is ending not because of confrontation, but because of divine intervention. Heaven negotiates justice in complete spiritual silence. You may never hear an apology. You may never get closure from the one who drained you, but you will receive divine compensation. Doors that closed without warning will be replaced by opportunities sent in perfect timing. Relationships that ended in confusion will be replaced by connections born of clarity. What was stolen from you in fatigue will be returned in the form of unexplainable rest, joy, creativity, and fire. Michael reports this with joy. The spirit realm honors your obedience. There is a record in heaven of your faithfulness. A ledger filled with moments you chose righteousness when revenge felt easier. A journal of tears wiped in secret and prayers whispered through exhaustion. All of it matters. None of it was wasted. The drain ends now, not just emotionally, not just mentally, but spiritually. You no longer live under open access. You no longer sleep without protection. You no longer give without discernment. Your spiritual ecosystem is now sealed by divine decree. The spiritual siphons have been disconnected. Your energy field is protected. The divine firewall is active, and the leak has been reversed. Your restlessness was confirmation, not coincidence. The shifting, the anxiety, the disruptions, all signs of the spiritual exchange underway. You weren't losing your mind. You were gaining your mantle. Even now, angels continue to move. They barter on your behalf. They war without needing your permission. And as you walk in peace, they complete the transaction. The soul that was once scattered hath been gathered. The power that was once dormant has been restored. You are no longer at the mercy of the energies around you. You are seated in authority, and heaven knows it. Something sacred has just shifted in your favor. You may not feel it yet. You may not see it yet. But in the next few days, signs will begin to appear. Random moments of peace. Sudden clarity. Unexpected doors. All divine indicators that the unseen exchange had been completed, and you have emerged victorious. Type "I receive my divine exchange" in the comments if you feel the transfer. Blessing code 8888 has now sealed your spiritual account with overflow. The heavens have watched long enough. The spiritual scales that once tilted in silence are now moving into balance. And Archangel Michael comes not with a sword this time, but with a scroll, a decree signed in divine timing, sealed in celestial authority, and carried by the very angels who once guarded your rest. The word is simple, yet eternal: justice. For every moment you were misunderstood, justice. For every time your energy was used without gratitude, justice. For every smile that masked manipulation, justice. For every soul that fed from your spirit without feeding it, justice. For every tear you cried behind closed doors, justice. And Michael declares, God's balance is never delayed, only prepared. There were things you endured that no one knew about. Things that chipped away at your vitality, your creativity, your peace. They thought your silence was weakness. They thought your quiet was surrender. But what they didn't know is that while they drained you, heaven recorded everything. Now the divine order has been released, and with it comes reversal. This isn't your revenge. This is God's righteousness. This isn't karma. This is holy compensation. The very energy they took from you will now become their unrest. The peace they disrupted in your life will now become their pursuit. They will look for what they once drew from you, and find themselves empty, because the well has closed. The divine river hath been rerouted. You, the one who once wept in confusion, will now walk in clarity. You, the one who once dimmed your light for others' comfort, will now shine without permission. You, the one who was once targeted by low spirits in high places, will now be lifted above their reach. This is not exaggeration. This is divine justice in motion. Heaven's reversal is not loud. It is swift. It is not vengeful. It is surgical. It removes what no longer honors your purpose and rebuilds what was torn by unseen hands. And you will begin to notice the shift. Those who once drained you will now need your overflow. They will watch you rise and not understand how. They will feel your withdrawal not as abandonment, but as judgment. Not from you, but from God. The same ones who overlooked your fatigue will now need the light they took for granted. And heaven will make it clear. You are no longer the same person. You are no longer accessible. You are no longer open source to those who refuse to carry their own oil. And Michael speaks this truth with piercing clarity. They thought you were weak, but watch. Watched how you kept giving. Watched how you remained kind. Watched how you smiled even when depleted. Watched how you carried burdens no one dared to acknowledge. They watched and misunderstood. But heaven watched too, and remembered. There is no corner of your soul that will go unrepaired. No stolen breath, no drained moment, no manipulated exchange will go unredeemed. The reversal has already begun in the unseen, and soon it will manifest in the physical. Watch for divine reversals in relationships. Watch for restoration in health. Watch for sudden financial alignment. Watch for elevation without networking. These are signs that God has remembered you, that heaven has issued repayment and multiplied it. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $5. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe now for more messages that confirm, empower, and guide. You are not just passing through, you are walking in prophecy. Stay connected to clarity. Type I am restored in the comments to seal this reversal. Blessing code 2323 is now issuing your divine payback. And now peace. Not the peace you pretended to feel. Not the temporary pause between spiritual attacks. But true, unshakable, divinely assigned peace. The kind that follows justice. A kind that comes when heaven has spoken, and no demon in hell can undo it. Archangel Michael steps back now. His sword has served its purpose. The wall of fire is sealed. The extraction has ended. And you, chosen, awakened, reclaimed, are now sealed from further energetic sabotage. Your strength is not only returning, it's been upgraded. You are no longer recovering from the drain. You are now radiating from the overflow. What once depleted you has become your spiritual training ground. You are stronger, clearer, bolder. You are not the victim of unseen forces. You are the victor over them. Heaven declares, you are no longer vulnerable prey. You are no longer accessible to emotional vampires, to energy thieves, to spiritually unaligned connections. You are cloaked in discernment, surrounded by divine sentinels, and carrying a frequency that repels what once drained you. You are chosen. You are protected. You are in divine alignment. This means your thoughts will flow differently. Your energy will feel lighter. Your interactions will begin to shift, because your entire field has been recalibrated. What once attracted chaos will now demand harmony. Rest now. Not the rest of exhaustion, but the rest of completion. You walked through the fire. You passed the tests. You've allowed heaven to work even when it was painful. And now, the light has returned to you, not just around you, but within you. Go forth. Speak light. Declare truth. Shine without apology. Your presence is now permission for others to heal, to rise, to awaken. You are no longer questioning if you're called. You're walking in the evidence of it. This is your time, your moment, your mantle. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. Type "I am sealed" in the comments to complete this activation. Blessing code 3003 has now cloaked you in divine finality.